Little Italy, where candidate Mark Saunders is announcing support for Toronto's restaurant industry. He'll take to the podium in just a minute, where he plans to make an announcement, as I said, about supporting Toronto's restaurant industry. This is in Little Italy. Here's Mark Saunders now.
Thank you, Tracy. So thank you, everyone, for coming here today, and thanks to Trattoria Tavernetti for hosting today's event. They make great food here, and they are just one of the many proud participants of the CafeTO program. Small businesses are the backbone of our communities and to the city's economy. When you open a restaurant like Trattoria Tavernetti, you take a chance. You roll up your sleeves, you work long hours, you work long days, and hopefully you become successful. Businesses like this can thrive in our neighborhoods because of the opportunities this city provides. They can bring people together, create jobs, and give back to their communities. You know, before the pandemic, Toronto is home to over 76,000 businesses. Our food service communities is one of Toronto's largest and most diverse employees. Toronto has lost almost 4,000 businesses, including restaurants, the vast majority due to the pandemic. Although there were positive signs of businesses coming back, many have not. Here are a few reasons as to why the restaurant industry has been hit so hard. Rising food costs, labor shortages, crime, insurance, rent, utilities, and remote work have all taken a terrible toll on small businesses and restaurants. As mayor, I'm going to bring real relief to small businesses to help them cover and to thrive. And here's what I'm going to do. I'll waive this year's fees for CafeTO applications and permits. I'll cut the red tape in order to simplify the application process for CafeTO program. I'll look at ways to make this program sustainable and permanent beyond the pandemic without impacting other nearby businesses and traffic flow, and work with small businesses and BIAs to promote local restaurants and neighborhoods. We need to breathe new life back into our streets of Toronto. Now is the time to support thriving businesses and restaurants in all of our neighborhoods. And part of that is obviously making sure that our streets are safe and businesses like this one don't fear another broken window or other criminal activity. Let's make Toronto the best place in the world to start and grow a business. Let's protect Toronto's future together. Thank you very much, and I'll take questions.
You mentioned crime as one of the issues, and I was wondering if there are any commitments you're going to make around policing and investments in specifically the police budget that might address some of the concerns that you're talking about.
Sure. So, you know, one of the things that I've learned going right across the city and talking to a lot of BIAs is the rise of criminal activity when it comes to break and enters, or in a lot of cases, just disorderly conduct. So making sure that we keep our streets safe, yes, by using law enforcement, but a lot of these things are not necessarily criminal in the sense that it is motivated by crime. A lot of it has to deal with people who haven't had other agencies in front of them, and that's what's caused that type of thing. So making sure that all agencies that can help promote safety are put at the forefront right across the entire city to help small businesses.
We've heard other candidates talk about, for example, the number of officers that they would hire. We've heard a lot of different numbers, higher than others. Is there a number that you have in mind?
No, community safety is not about numbers, it's about putting the right resources in the right place. When you go across the city, there are different needs and different issues that occur, and so based on that, you have to make sure that first and foremost, when it comes to the police, we rely on the police chief, and Chief Demke certainly has a good pulse on what it takes for crime and disorder, but there are other agencies that the city has control of that can take part as well, and hopefully by applying all entities, we have an opportunity to enhance community safety.
I also wanted to ask you about, so you said you won't raise property taxes. I think that's part of the commitment that you're making.
That is one of the commitments, no new taxes, especially anything above inflation.
And so I'm wondering, for things like this where you're waiving the fees and you're talking about investing in small businesses, how are you going to do that while also dealing with the massive budget hole that the city is facing?
Yeah, certainly by not putting good money into a broken system. one of the things that I definitely want to do is, if chosen as mayor, is to have a detailed look at what things are being spent on, and then to make sure that we prioritize what the needs are for the city. And I can tell you overwhelmingly, the public safety is the #1 issue, and especially when we're dealing with the subways and people having issues and concerns for their safety, getting to and from work or getting to and from home or school.
Are there any specific things you have in mind about the things you think are sort of extraneous or sort of, the kind of things you don't need to be doing?
Well, looking at where the money's spent is critical, and I've said over and over again, it's about people first. I don't think that it's right that when you're downtown, there's so many people that are lying on sidewalks, and I think that there can be funds put in towards that to make sure that our city has quality of life, to make sure that there's dignity restored, and then a whole host of other things to put in play to make sure our city has that reset to enhance community safety.
Just one last one. It's just like, are there things that you don't think we need to be doing? Like, there's a recent that talks about things like pollinator gardens and all kinds of other things that the city does. Like, are there specific things you have in mind that will be cut?
Yeah, well, there are things that can be done by other means. Private sector is willing to invest in our city as well, too. So things can be done, but we have to challenge ourselves on how we do things. And that's certainly the avenues that I'll be looking at to pursue. Because you know what? City of Toronto is one of those cities that will embrace anything that comes across our table to help quality of life. So I'll be looking at all measures and all opportunities for that sustainability. Thank you.
That's mayoral candidate Mark Saunders announcing support for Toronto's restaurant industry.